hello, everyone, and welcome to the 162nd episode of Tuesdays with Toby. My name is Toby Frierson, not that much longer, and I am thrilled to be back before you again today with another message. So on this past Friday, my dear father, his name is Charles Henry Frierson. If you were to ask his sister-in-law, Kay, my Aunt Kay, she's gonna say his name is Charles Henry MacArthur Frierson. My dad's name has never been MacArthur. It's a nickname she gave him. But you know what, Aunt Kay, there's probably a story behind that. So I need to find out why you call Dad MacArthur. Y'all, Daddy turned 76 on Friday. And if you saw last week's video, I actually celebrated with him a week early because I was already in town for the USC Gamecocks and UConn game. Go Gamecocks. We just beat Georgia this past Sunday. We are 25-0. I'm all over the place. This is about Dad. Y'all, I went out to my social media channels, Facebook, IG, X. I didn't go out to X. That's Twitter, y'all, for some of you who are like, what is she talking about? And I asked you all if you would help me wish my dad a happy birthday and that Mom would sit and read through the comments with him. Boy, oh boy, y'all showed up. So one, I want to thank the Tuesdays with Toby audience. And if you're following this channel, you're probably also on my social media and you probably posted a happy birthday to my father. And I want to let you know how much I appreciate that. So today's episode is going to be dedicated to my daddy. By the way, he calls me Junior. He just started that like maybe 2 years ago, but he loves to say that. And we do look alike. I'm going to show you some photos of us. I've got video clips of him throughout the years. Just fun stuff because I want to honor Dad with today's episode. But before we do that, as we do each week when I'm on the set, and I recognize I've not been on the set in quite some time, look behind me. We actually have some family rules to say together. So during Tuesdays with Toby, we'll use kind words. Do your best. Always be honest. Forgive and forget. Be happy. Count your blessings. Laugh at yourself. Stay positive and love one another. Guys, when I tell you my daddy has been such a character and a personality and a force his entire life. It was just fun growing up, knowing how others approached him and saw him. And he was this big time wedding singer back in the 80s. And some of you are already smiling because you know my family and you know my father forever. And you know this to be true. Like, I legit thought my dad was a professional singer. Just because every single Saturday he had a wedding and he was singing in somebody's wedding. He had his own accompanist. Ooh, Toby, you know how to say that word. He had his own accompanist. I don't know what's happening in this moment. Just go with it. He had a personal person who played for him when he sung at all these weddings, and it was Ernest Blackwell. So Ernest is no longer with us, but I was just mesmerized by my father as a kid. He was a big jokey guy. Everything was funny. An immaculate dresser. Oh my goodness. I used to love how my younger boy cousins would approach him because they'd be like, Uncle Charles, we want to see what Uncle Charles has on or whatever. Shoes fly, had suits for days. We were church people. We grew up in a church, so he had lots of suits because of church. But then he also had a job that required him to dress up. So a button-up look for me, like a button-down shirt and a tie and slacks. That's all I knew as a kid. I love that look, by the way, on men. Shout out to you guys who wear those. Y'all wearing pretty tight dress pants now, guys. Do I have to go Juanita Bynum on y'all? I am kidding. I just want to know if anybody saw Juanita's rant. Y'all wear whatever you want. It's okay. But back to my father. I think the things that my dad would have instilled in me as a child would definitely be service. He was absolutely service oriented, would do anything for you, give you the shirt off of his back. Humor, we're gonna keep it light. Listen, and unfortunately, my mom has a little bit of a different personality, and so Dad would get in trouble for his jokes, and then here I am. Remember, I told you Dad called me Junior. I'm loving it all, so I'm trying to be as silly as possible. Now me and Daddy are in trouble, and then Marlo and Mom would just kind of like not laugh at our stuff. But Dad, thank you for your humor. So I appreciate your service. I appreciate your humor. He is a kind and gentle soul. My dad didn't turn up a whole lot. He's very kind. He's very gentle. And then he's also a giver. And so if I were to tell you about my dad, that's kind of how I would describe him. A faithful man. He raised our family in Green Hill Baptist Church. We had 7 choirs. Daddy sung on every choir except the youth choirs. So he's also, and I mentioned the wedding singer earlier as well. So my love for music, I get some of that from him as well. And so, Daddy, man, we're so glad for you to see 76 on Friday. And back to talking to you all about how you shouted him out on my Facebook or on my IG. That means a whole lot to me. So I'm going to stop talking right now. And I'm just going to show you a collage of photos and a few video clips as well. Because on this day, on today's episode of Tuesdays with Toby, we are celebrating Charles Henry. His name's not really MacArthur. Thank you, Aunt Kay. Charles Henry MacArthur Frierson. Daddy, I love you, and I hope you enjoy this episode of Tuesdays with Toby that is dedicated just for you, because you have made it to 76 years. And by the way, I can't wait for you to walk me down the aisle really, really soon. Hey, you all, like, share, and subscribe, and enjoy some of these photos and videos. See you next week, guys. Take care.
Oh, yeah. Let you turn get that and go slow. I bet you were just singing your little butt off. Excuse me, y'all.